This program was brought to you by Organo Gold. Organo Gold is a health and wellness company that provides healthy coffees, teas, and chocolate. All one has to do is consume the available coffee, teas, chocolate, and other products to get all the available benefits. One can also share these products with others to help them improve their health as well.
And now, Fairfax Breakfast Club with your host, Basil Lemba.
Welcome to the Fairfax Breakfast Club show. My name is Basil Lemba and I will be your host. The Fairfax Breakfast Club is a weekly program in which we bring to you valuable and workable know-how you can use to improve your networking skills and grow your business. We always start the show with a quote. Creativity being so important in life, we just couldn't start with one quote, as we always do. We want to present to you here today 3 quotes. The first one, you see things and you say why, but I dream things that never were, and I say why not. And that is from George Bernard Shaw. The second one, curiosity about life is all of its aspect. I think it still is the secret of creative people, and that is from Leo Burnett. And the third one is, this is one of my favorite. If you hear a voice within you say, you cannot paint, then by all means, paint. And that voice will be silence. And that is from Vincent van Gogh. With us today in the studio, we have someone who is in the business of creativity, helping businesses put forward the best food. His business is named Enthuse Creative. And I introduce to you Mr. Reggie Holmes. Hello, Reggie.
Basil, how you doing?
Good, how about you?
I'm doing well.
That's a heck of an intro. I never done
Yes,
such an intro to someone.
Those are great quotes. Yeah.
Okay, tell us what you do, Reggie.
Well, I do branding and design strategy for small businesses and other organizations. Mm-hmm. And I'm based in Alexandria, Virginia, mm-hmm. but I have clientele all throughout the area and even outside of the area.
Okay.
Yeah.
Very good. So now let me tell you this. A customer contact you.
Okay.
What is the process that you take? How do you take them through the process in order to help them?
Well, I always start off by asking questions. Mm-hmm. That's how I gain information and figure out what exactly they're looking for. Design is more than just making things look nice, mm-hmm. but really it's about problem solving. And so if I don't ask questions and really understand what is the problem that they're trying to get solved, then I can't really use creativity to help them. So it always begins with asking great questions and really trying to figure out what are they looking for. If somebody says, I want to get a logo for my company, mm-hmm. They're not just looking for a nice visual mark or something for their brand. They're really coming to me because maybe what they have has been insufficient for their business, and they want to expand their business, so they need a new mark that represents the direction that they want to go in. So what I try to do is really start by asking those questions and then really figuring out what the problem is that they want to get solved. And from there, I can use creativity and other resources to try to nail down a solution. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Very good. Okay. So now let's say somebody come and then they say, well, I want a logo, and then they don't know. Well, I guess you have to, that's where the questioning comes in.
Right.
To kind of like get to them either what they're trying to achieve, which direction they're going from, and then from there you can help them out.
Right. So the types of questions that I would ask might be, about their industry, where they want to be positioned within their industry. And the mark is just really trying to represent that for the people out there that they're trying to sell their services or their goods to. So I really have to ask questions that help them sort of see where they are, and then that I can visually create something that sort of represents what they aspire to be, mm-hmm. or what they already are, but they just need something to represent that. So yeah, that's kind of how the process would start. And I just I need to find out sort of who they are. Mm-hmm. So I can help them tell their story, really. That's what we try to do. We tell stories, we communicate. It's, communication arts.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
And what are the different services that you provide then? Like, can you break them down, like maybe branding, promotion, or the different service that you bring to the table?
Sure. Well, Enthused Creative, we develop the visual identity, which involves everything like the logo and the stationery, the corporate identity for whatever the business entity is. We also do some web design and development for clients. We do event and trade show, conference, that type of marketing materials, whatever you might need to promote your event or that you might be handing out or giving away at an event like your expo or something like that. We also just do, flyers, posters to promote events or activities coming up. So those are the types of things that we do. Everything from, the logo to maybe a form or a document that is only used internally. Nobody on the outside of your organization might see it, but it's something that you use within your business. So we could do something like that as well.
So, okay, so would you say that Enthused Creative is then a marketing agency? Would you say that?
To some degree. I think we really, right now, just deal with the design of things, but...
So the designing company then,
right,
the design company.
Yeah, so it's, graphic design is basically the backbone.
You don't do the printing or...
No, but we have, partners that we work with. If someone has a project that, to get it fulfilled, they need it printed out. I have vendors that I can go to either on behalf of the client or refer them to get their project fulfilled. So that's how we work with things that are beyond what we do in-house. Okay. So,
how do you get into creative in a design company? What was your journey into this industry, into this company?
Sure. Well, I got started with the business in 2013, but I've been doing freelance design for a long time, and I've been drawn to creativity and graphic design long before I knew what it was or that it was something that you could do as a career. Ever since I was a kid, I would doodle, I would draw, and just draw things out of my imagination. And so I've sort of been drawn toward that path for a long time. But I got a degree in design back in 2004, and I've been working professionally and also, freelance for several years. But I really, within the last 3 or 4 years, got the desire and the knowledge and sort of the internal drive to start a business. And I went through a process of just being educated about that and really finding the courage within myself to step out there and start a business and just go for it. So.
And how's that going?
It's going well. It's going well. I never used to think that I was inclined to the entrepreneur type of lifestyle, but I enjoy it, and I feel like as the months go by, I'm acquiring skills and relationships and knowledge that's just allowing me to get better at design and just being able to run a business. So I feel very fortunate, and I feel like it's getting better like each day. So
very good.
Yeah.
And what are the milestones then on your journey? What would you consider the milestone in your journey? What was the deciding moment? Because most of the people are one for another, be it deciding to go on your own, or maybe even you're already on your own, you say, now I'm going to really make this thing happen. Can you tell us about those?
Sure. Well, I was working at a university, and I had a good job. I was well liked and put out good work on the staff there. But this was back in 2009. There was some budget cuts, and so my position was ended. So when I had that taken away, something within me said, I want to get to a place where I never want to be in a position where something that I enjoy, where I feel like I'm using my talents and contributing, where that's taken away. So I think the seed was somewhat planted at that time.
Got it.
And just a lot of things worked together to get me to this point. I used to read magazines about entrepreneurship, and I would think, oh, that's exciting, but I'm not that type of person. But I really think that it started with being laid off and then sort of having difficulty finding a job like what I was doing before, knowing that I had skills and the ability to contribute and add value to organizations through design, and just not being able to get the type of opportunity that I wanted. I mean, I feel like this is America, and we have the opportunities here that a lot of people don't have, to be able to create our own opportunities sometimes. And so I just sort of decided that that's something that I wanted to go after, and everything fell into place to allow me to do that.
Okay, good.
Yeah.
Excellent. Now, you attended one of our breakfast events, several of our breakfast events.
Yes.
Can you tell our fine audience over here your experience at the breakfast event?
At the Breakfast Club is a great experience. It can be a little bit overwhelming, perhaps, when you first come in, but I mean, I was energized by it. It was one of the first networking type of events that I went to, and I didn't really know. I sort of invited myself.
How do you find out about it, by the way?
From your website.
Oh, okay.
Yeah,
Gotcha.
from your website,
Okay.
and I was like, okay, this looks professional. This looks like it's been around for a long time, so it would be worthwhile to go. And yeah, I enjoyed it. I mean, it's high energy. There's a lot that happens in a short time, but it's definitely worthwhile in terms of the number of contacts that you make. And yeah, so I enjoyed it. I feel like it's definitely one of the better events that are out there and worth the time.
Okay, good.
Yeah.
Now about the expo, not only did you work on the expo, let's thank Reggie over here for helping us put on the expo with his design and everything. Thank you very much.
You're welcome.
That was great. That was a lot of work happening.
Yeah.
It can be intense behind the scene.
There you go.
You guys don't see that. So now give us our experience at the expo.
At the expo, it was a good time for me to be there. I mean, I have been on the other side of those types of events, and so you're right. I gained a whole new perspective, being a person with a table and a booth, and there's so much that's happening. But I enjoy just being able to be there and talk to people about my business and talk to the other businesses that were there, and you're making connections to your left, to your right, in front of you, and so I enjoyed it. I feel like it's a well-run event, and there's a lot of value there for people that participate.
Okay.
Yeah.
Folks, for those guys who find like, what are they talking about? I'm going to tell you right now. We host a monthly breakfast event here in Fairfax. It's at Old Town Hall, and it's the third Thursday of the month. The next one will be on July 17th. So you're welcome. You can get the information, a lot more about it, on our website, which is blnbc.com. And also twice a year, mid and end of the year, we put on an expo. We just celebrated one last Friday. That's the one Reggie's talking about. And the next one will be on November 14. So love to have you there. And the website for that is ultbizexpo.com. Okay, we're looking forward to having you there. Now, Reggie, tell me, what would you consider your biggest success in, what would you consider the biggest challenge in life?
In life?
We're broadening the questions now.
Yeah, biggest challenge in life, I think, is to just remain open to people, to opportunities, to learning. I think you can easily just think you know it all, or that you've acquired the knowledge or the relationships that you need to know, and just sort of, I just want to go, do things on my own, or no, I don't need other people, or things of that nature. So what I want to do, and what I find a challenge, is to just remain open to whatever it is that is presented to me. There's opportunity in every obstacle, and so if I just choose to look at the obstacles, then I miss the fact that there's opportunities either to grow or to overcome the challenge, and to get better, to improve. So I'm really committed to improving myself in every way, as a person, as an artist, as a business person. So I look at that opportunity to continue to grow as something that I want to go after all the time and remain open to.
Okay.
Yeah.
Very good, thank you. And do you consider your biggest success?
My biggest success is probably just being able to start the business. I mean, there were a lot of reasons why it wasn't the right time, or I could have done something more safe, and you know, there's all types of reasons why I should not have done it or could not have done it. But I think just being able to go out there and to be living the dream is exciting, and that's a success. And to be able to keep going and keep growing with it, I mean, I think that's successful. And hopefully it's something that inspires other people to go after their dreams as well.
Okay.
Yeah.
Very good. Okay. So you have been doing that for what now? How many years now?
Well, I started the business last year, so really like less than a year. So.
And how do you go about growing your business? I want you to talk about that, because somebody has business for 1 year. Tell us what you do to grow your business.
Well, I do a lot of networking, thanks to people like you that provide events and opportunities to do that. There are some websites that I use in order to find people that are looking for design services. And I rely on word of mouth and referrals to find other work. So sort of a three-pronged attack to be able to find clients. And I'm always looking for, you know, when people talk about their business, the thing about design is that everybody has a need for it on some level. So I want to be considered like a creative strategic partner, that people, there are many people you can go to just get something designed, but I want to be seen as a strategic partner for the people that I work with, someone that they can call on, even if they just have a question or they want to bounce around some ideas. It's not necessarily, I need you to design this specific project. You know, I just want to be there as a resource. So I really try to posture myself as a resource, even when I'm talking to people that may have no direct interest in my services. If I can provide some type of value to them, position myself as a problem solver, I think that's helpful. And so I think assuming that posture with people and relationships allows me to be on their mind when someone mentions that they need a specific design product, or that they have a problem that they want to approach creatively in order to address. So.
Okay.
Yeah.
That's good. That's very important, because I think you hit it on a very major point. Be it even a banker or CPA and what have you, I know personally what I'm looking for is a partner, not necessarily, like, not namely in the bank, because in the bank it can be thought to be clear-cut. I put the money, I take it back, so the banker does not know. But and then again, there's so many banks there. Which one do you deal with? Is the one you have a relationship, you advise you, tell you this is going on, this is happening, and what have you, or we have a better way and what have you. Right. So I think that's very, very valuable.
Yeah, and that's one thing that I had to learn, because in design school, or you know, in college, or they teach you how to do the work, how to make the art, but they don't teach you about business. And so communication, art, design, it's a business, and you have to learn to speak the language that business people understand. So that's been a process. Initially, I just want to do the art. I just want to do the design, and you know, I like it. I want the client to like it, and we all go about our way. But really, it's a different language. It's a different sort of understanding and approach when you're dealing with other small businesses. So that's something that I've had to learn and acquire that language, acquire that knowledge. So it's been a process, but it's been good in order to be able to do that and offer more than just, you know, services of somebody who can make something look nice, or make, you know, a piece of nice art, but how does this serve my business interests? I think that's what small business owners are wanting to know. So it's changed the way I approach, you know, what I do from a creative standpoint.
I can vouch for that, because I was very impressed by the way you handle putting together the expo. More often than not, when people approach me, they are, this is this, or this is the bill. Before they always start, bills are flying, whatever, which is fine. I don't have a problem with the bills, but what do you bring to the table?
Right.
To me, that's fundamental. And I can easily tell that people are so much obsessed about the bill and this, that, the other thing, whatever. I don't have a problem with the bill, but what do you bring to the table? I think is a major factor. In fact, you're hitting on a major point, because throughout history, throughout the culture, artists, when we talk about Van Gogh, all these artists were kind of like dying artists because business was not a concept. They were lucky at the time because they have somebody who commissioned their work.
Right.
That's all we're looking for. But today has changed. You don't have everybody coming to commission a work.
Right.
You have to have business sense, business knowledge, and know-how in order to survive.
Right.
And the bottom line in all that is what you bring to the table, because the reason the Breakfast Club happened to be popular, it is a wrong example because I'm talking about something that I'm part of or I created. But I'm going with that because I know that to be true. There is a tremendous amount of focus on what we deliver.
Right.
What are we bringing to the table? What are we bringing to the expo? Is everything you can vouch to that because you were behind the scene working with us on putting the pieces together. Things like, for example, the quote. We have 10 major quotes that were running into that screen. We didn't have to do them.
Right.
It was not a must for us, but we do them to add to it. We get all the sponsor logos and everything else, the work that does and all that. You can see that behind the scene. That's where the focus and the concentration goes.
Right.
People, if I can have the camera on me, people, it's about exchange. It's about exchange. If you are in business, your focus consists of taking a look at what you have and then you bringing it to somebody. But what you have has to be extremely good. You have to do everything you can to put together a highly valuable quality product. If you do, then you make it. I get so much bombarded, left, right, center, by people who want this, want that, but then look at what are you bringing to the table? Very little. Now, it's not that they cannot, but the focus is not on what they can bring to the table.
Right.
They're so wrapped up into the bill or whatever else. Well, I give this example to people. If you're sitting down on a chair, I'm sure all of us want to make sure that the chair is comfortable, and that we do not fall.
Right.
Okay. So we want the guy who makes the chair to do a good job of it.
Right.
Same thing in what we deliver, whatever we deliver. We got to bring to somebody something that is solid, reliable, good.
Right.
And that is business.
Right.
To me.
Yeah. And you know, we deal with clients about branding. That's really what branding is your the collection of the perceptions that people have of what you do. And so you've for instance, you built the brand of the Breakfast Club and the Expo. But that's over, 10 years of providing that quality, providing that consistency. And so as people see that, they're able to attach that perception of what you do and the value that it has. And so it stands as its own, advertisement for those that become aware of it. So that's really what we're trying to create for our clients. It's not just, let's make this logo and then people see the logo and they're going to be blown away. And they're going to be interested in purchasing your goods or services. We have this great visual identity that helps to differentiate you from the next business that might be in the same industry, but you have to back that up and support that with the quality, with the customer service, with the professionalism, all the things that people expect of a first-class organization. So you're right.
Yeah, I think that's what makes a difference, because you are who you are, we understand that, but they got to be a work. I mean, you can tell when somebody is trying. Not that everybody's going to be, I don't know, the Bill Gates of the world, not necessarily.
Right.
But in what you do, you want to make sure you did everything you could to produce a high quality product or service.
Right. That's very true.
I think if we do, we'll all be happy. Or sometimes something can go wrong. Okay, then we go back and fix it.
Right.
That's what we sorry about that. So we fix it, and then I think we'll have now an exchange, and then things flows.
Right. Yeah, I mean, people appreciate you putting your best foot forward, and that will never go out of style. That'll never get old. And so I think as small businesses going after that and having that approach, I mean, that's how small businesses really help each other, is that exchange and that idea of, I'm gonna give you my best, and in exchange, I get your best. And we build trust, we build community, we build strong relationships, and it helps everybody eventually to be profitable and be successful.
Absolutely, because if you do your best, nobody has a problem paying.
Right.
The only time I ever have problem paying bills is when I don't get a quality product,
Right.
or something that does not fit what I need.
Right.
Then we have a problem.
Right.
Well, I never have a problem, really.
Right.
And no, I'm not the only one. All of us. I mean, I can tell you that if you can, I'm pretty sure if you do an investigation on that, where you have problem collecting,
Right.
the quality of the product was not there.
Right.
Or in most of them, I would say, who knows, 97 up on over 95% of the time.
Mm-hmm.
If the guy doesn't want to pay, look into your product. Maybe it was not there, or maybe that's not what he wanted.
Right. Yeah, and you know, you want to try to avoid that as much as possible and work. Like one thing about design that sort of separates it from just art. Like I can make art that expresses what I feel inside, for instance, but I'm not really. I don't have to please anybody except myself, unless I was being commissioned to create art on behalf of someone else.
That's right.
But design is totally about creating art that serves someone else's interest, and so it helps to separate it from, you know, just art for the sake of expression. So it's very important, you know, because sometimes designers get caught up in, I just want to make this art that I like, that I can appreciate, but it doesn't serve the interests of the client, and so you've missed the mark at that
Absolutely,
point.
completely.
And yeah, and so nobody wants to pay for that. It creates, you know, breakdown in the communication, and that whole idea of problem solving. Someone comes to you, they're willing to pay you to help them solve a problem, and so I want to create something that I feel great about, but the way that happens is that I make sure that I take care of the customer first.
Most definitely.
Yeah.
Again, folks, let me invite you to our breakfast event, which you will find more information on the blnbc.com, and our upcoming expo on November 14. You'll find more information at ultbizexpo.com. Thank you very much for coming, Reggie, and I want to thank you over here officially for all the work you did for us for the expo.
Thank you.
And we're definitely looking forward to working with you again in the next expo.
All right.
Thank you, and then I'll see you next time.
Thank you.
Have a good night, folks. Bye-bye.
This program was brought to you by Organo Gold. Organo Gold is a health and wellness company that provides healthy coffees, teas, and chocolate. All one has to do is consume the available coffee, teas, chocolate, and other products to get all the available benefits. One can also share these products with others to help them improve their health as well.